I thought to myself, I fancy a session on the Staffordshire Worcestershire Canal. And that's where I am right now. I've just cast out, watching the float, and I passed one other angler on the way, and he'd been here a while. He'd had 4 roach and 2 perch. In fact, he caught one of the perch while I was there, and his words were, "It's rock hard." I'm not surprised, because it looks like a boat hasn't been through for some considerable time. So the canal itself is very clear, and it's always hard going when that's the case. But as long as your bait's in the water, you've got a chance. And this occasion, the bait is 2 red maggots on a size 12 hook. I've been here about 30 minutes, nothing at all. I think a challenging session indeed. However, as the afternoon wears on, the light levels drop, then that's when I'm expecting to catch something. I'm fishing with a Shimano 3500 reel. It's a Gray's Prodigy float rod, and I've got 4-pound Maxima Chameleon. That goes right the way through. Now at this point, you could think, why don't you drop down? Because you've got more chance of catching something. But I'm trying to get the balance of quality over quantity. So rather than catch a few roach, small roach, I would sooner set my stall out to, if I do hook into a big perch, land it. So that's the way of thinking. It is a small float. It's a standard one. It's been on the setup for a while now. I use that on the small pools, the canals, and those type of venues that I fish on a regular basis. It's a Drennan Waggler, and I've got the shot either side of the float, and then that sinks naturally in the water. I've got 2 red maggots on a size 12 Drennan Super Specialist hook. Again, thinking of the quality over quantity approach. And because it's the canal, although there isn't any pull at all on it today, I've got my little anchor shot there. So that sinks, that's on the bottom, and I'm sure that it will produce a fish before I pack away and go home. I tell you what, it's not very often that anglers like to see boats coming through on the canal, is it? Especially in the summer months. But it's very, very clear at the moment, the water. And when I saw a boat coming down from my right, I thought to myself, fantastic, that's certainly churned the bottom up, hasn't it? And I've just cast out again. I'll put some more bait out, and that certainly raised the level of expectancy. When the boat came through, there's a lady on there, and I was talking to her because she was going really slow, and I said to her, very welcome indeed, the boat. I said, because it churns the bottom up and the water's clear. And she must have misunderstood me, because she thought I was asking her to churn the bottom up even more, so she got the engine going and everything came up. I said thank you, because it was just a misunderstanding there. Obviously she didn't do anything wrong, I'm not saying that, of course, but it's settled now, as you would expect, and I'm looking forward to getting a fish. A raven's just gone over as well, calling, and this morning my bird watching walk down the lane produced a ring-necked parakeet. I saw a bird in flight through the trees, long tail. So initially, with the trees in the way, I thought it was a kestrel or a sparrowhawk. We have both of those in the immediate area. Got the binoculars on it, and then of course recognised it straight away. So that's a first for me for the valley. Not quite from the garden though, because I was walking down at the time, but hopefully they will stick around, because my wife saw 2 some time ago at the top of the valley. So if they could hang around and breed, I tell you, that would be great to get those in the garden. I'd love it. I know in London, the southeast, they are quite common. I was in London itself at the start of the year, and they were everywhere. In central London, everywhere. They're great birds, and it would be nice to get some in the garden. For now though, it would be nice to get a fish on the bank, and I'm sure that'll happen sooner rather than later. It's been a long time coming, but I'm finally off the mark with a small bream. It's certainly not a monster fish, but under the circumstances of how slow it's been today, I'm more than happy with this perch. Last cast as well. There's a life lesson there, isn't there? Keep going until the very end.